right? So these are engine components, right? What is there in automobile engine? They are the place where maximum heat is generated, and there is a lot of fatigue loading. Things are rotating and going up and down and so on. So having a very good life with good functioning is important. Until now, they are high quality metal alloys. But in the future, by new manufacturing processing techniques, we can shape ceramics into very complicated shapes, which we could not do earlier. So if we can do that, then we can make engine components of ceramics, and then their life and performance will be much higher. In some very high cost cars, we already have some ceramic engine components, but not in normal. So here we are showing you the same thing, right? Potential. When we say potential, it means it is not really there. So we are showing you an engine, a turbocharged diesel engine, a diesel engine which is turbocharged. So this is very high caliber, right? Very high cost sports cars and so on only will have turbocharging in their diesel engines and so forth. But if we have ceramic components there, then they will perform much better because they have good wear resistance. Their surface does not go back easily. They have very high temperature resistance. So even with very high temperatures, they will last long. So this is the future. This is already there in some very high cost cars. But if the manufacturing of these ceramics into complex shapes can be done at a low cost, then this will be high level of materials engineering, right? So this is the future. Here we are showing you ball bearings. Most of the engineers know ball bearings are there. Whenever there are shafts and rotations and so on, ball bearings are there. But if these balls can be made of ceramic rather than of good quality metal alloy, then again their surface finish will remain for a long time and they will work very well at very high temperatures. So these are ball bearings of the future if they can be made of ceramics. Nowadays they are generally made of powder metallurgy and so on. Now the basic three types, actually basic four types of materials are finished. Metals, ceramics, polymers. These are the three basic types. Which is the fourth basic type? Yes, you are right, non-metals, right? Sulfur, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, these are non-metals. So non-metals, metals, polymers, ceramics. All four major categories of materials in the world are gone. We are not talking of biological organic materials like tissues and so on. We are talking of materials as an engineer, materials which machinery can be made of, material, houses and right. So non-metals, metals, polymers, ceramics, all four basic categories are finished. This category which we are now starting, again just the heading, don't read beside, composite materials. If I ask you in normal English, forget about science, forget about materials, normal English, what is a composite? You see, you are right. Whenever we have more than one types of things and we fit them together, it is a composite. You see, for example, we make a drawing. We make a drawing. Here there is some oil, here there is some water paint. So now this is a composite, right? And so on. So yes, composite means more than one types of things. So a composite material is a material which is not any of the basic categories, right? That is why I said all the first four basic categories are types of materials. Composites are new types of materials. But what is important, they are mixtures, they are not compounds, because if they are chemically compounded, then they will be new materials by themselves. So, right, so we can take a metal, we can take a non-metal, and we can make a composite out of them. We can take a metal, we can take a polymer, and we can make a composite out of it, and so on. So, but these are new materials. 100 years ago, we did not have any composites, almost. One or two composites you can find are very old, but all of the modern composites are new materials. They were not there for a long time, hundreds of years they were not there. So now let me explain, right? Can anybody think of any composites which you have seen in your normal life? Any composites? Some of you can say yes, cars have some composite parts. They will be right, and so on. But let me tell you how a composite is generally made. For example, suppose I have a polymer. Right now, polymers are very easy to make because they are soft and they are ductile and they can be easily shaped into things, but they are not very strong. So now I want something which can be easily shaped into products, but which is also very strong. So we say that, okay, I will have, say, a metal, but I will make very thin wires of metal, and I will make a polymer body, and I will put a lot of these wires inside the polymer. The polymer is in a molten state, semi-molten state. I will put a lot of these metal wires inside, and once they gel completely and solidify, so now I have basically a polymer which has now solidified into whatever shape I wanted. But inside this polymer, there are very thin wires, very thin strands of a metal. So together it is a composite now. It is not a polymer, it is not a metal. It is a mixture of metal and polymer. The thing is that it is not a chemical compound, right? The polymer is chemically the polymer, the metal is chemically the metal. But physically it is a new material, and it will have much higher strength than the simple polymer, but it will be easy to fabricate and make and so on, right? So that is why it is there. So now ceramics are two types, fibrous or particulate. Fibrous means there will be fibers or threads inside it, and particulate means there will be particles inside it. So with the same example that I gave you earlier, if I have a polymer in a semi-molten state, now if I grind a metal into small pieces like a powder, and then put all these particles of the metal into the different parts of the semi-molten polymer, and then it solidifies. Now it is a metal polymer composite, but of a particulate nature. But in the other example that I gave you, I have a semi-molten polymer and I put lots of threads of the metal into it. Then it is a fibrous one. Okay. Now, one very famous polymer, fiberglass. So without reading further, fiberglass, where do you see it in your normal life? That will be my question always. That you see, you are doing material science, but you are engineers. What is the most important property of engineers? They live in the real world. It is not that we are just doing science and we are just doing math and we are just getting a degree. We are going to be engineers. So whatever you read about, you should relate to your real world. That is, now my problem again in this semester is that I am the student, I am the teacher. Otherwise, as soon as I say, okay, you are in the class, 35-40 students are there, where have you seen fiberglass? Now 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of you will try to answer. This time I am stuck, right? So where have you seen fiberglass? So those of you who are good observers will say, you see, some of the water tanks on my roofs are fiberglass. You will be very right. Some of the old houses have concrete water tanks. But all those whitish color, semi-whitish color things that you see all over the country, this is fiberglass. Some of you who are even better, that you see in our washrooms where we go to wash our hands and so on, if I have a shower, a simple shower, then maybe I am in a concrete. But if I have a bathtub, right? Some houses now have a bathtub and the shower is in the bathtub. That bathtub is made of fiberglass, right? So let me go back and ask you, where have you seen ceramics in your houses? Ceramics. Metals are everywhere, so metals are everywhere. There are metals in your phone, in your computer, in your car. So I have not asked it, but ceramics, I forgot. Where do you find ceramics in your house? Two famous places. One is again in the bathroom. As soon as you go to the bathroom, you come across ceramic. Where? Yes, where you wash your hand, right? The wash basin where you wash your hands generally, are made of ceramics. Also, generally, the bad part of your bathroom, where some things from your body come out and are drained, that portion is also made of ceramics, right? That is also made of ceramics. The good portion is in your kitchen. Your plates and crockery are either made of polymer type of materials, melamine and so on, polymer plastic, or they are made of very hard, strong materials called ceramics. So in some houses, the plates and crockery is made of ceramics. In some others, it is made of polymers known as melamine and so on. And many houses have both the types. So that was ceramics. This is composite, right? So fiberglass composite is there in your bathtubs and it is there in your water tanks. Now these have lots of applications. Aerospace, automobile, structures, sports, everywhere you will find some composite material. Their advantages: they have a higher strength and they have a high stiffness to weight ratio. So compared to metals, they can be lighter in weight and still of a strength that is required. What are their major disadvantages? They are brittle. They are not as easy to shape into products as polymers or metals. They have low fracture toughness. This we will study later on, what is fracture toughness. So if there is a chance of fracture, they will not be very good, these composites. And usually their cost is more, because you see, when we are trying to mix a metal and a non-metal or a metal and a polymer in such a way we can make engineering products, then their costs are generally higher. So this is it, that they can be made into good strength and still be ductile by a combination of polymers and metals. So they will be good for engineering, but their cost will be slightly higher. But that if we know that yes, cost is not an issue, you can increase the cost a little, but now you come up with new materials which have good strength and good properties and can be still shaped into certain materials. So this is right. Non-metals we are not treating as one major category, so forget about non-metals. Otherwise there are three basic categories of materials called metals, polymers and ceramics, and each of them have good and bad qualities. And to combine the qualities and make new materials which have better properties than before, we have the fourth type of material called composites. But composites are engineered materials. They are not naturally occurring like metals and polymers and so on, right? So this is it. And as an example, we are showing you just a body of a big aeroplane, and you see inside we have lots of things. Here we have metal parts, we have polymer parts, we have ceramic parts, but the colored parts, colored shaded parts that we are showing you, shaded parts and so on, are on the body and so on, and they are now composite materials. But these colored parts are here also, these colored parts are here also, these colored parts are here also. So in the main body of the aeroplane, similarly in the main bodies of cars also now, in the front bumper, in the bumper at the back, some parts of the body, composites are now coming up more and more. But the problem is that they are costly, as we told you earlier. So we have to balance that, how much strength and good properties and lightweight do you want, and at what cost. In high cost cars and in high cost aeroplanes, we know that cost is not such an issue, but the life and the strength and the good properties are important, but they will earn us a lot of money, so therefore we can go there. So we will stop with lecture 2 here, and please try to revise all of this before we come to the class so that you are good and so on, and we will see you inshallah. Ma'as salama.